Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about 12 men's fragrances that I was most impressed with in the last 10 years. So these are the 12 that I loved, and like I smelled them and I was like, wow. Some of them maybe are a bit harder to get because they are nearly discontinued or have been discontinued. Some of them are still available and I still have them in my collection. The first fragrance that I smelled and I was like, wow, I love it. And for the first, I think 2 years of this channel, like, I mean, every single list probably had this fragrance in this. I still love it so much. I don't speak about it as much because I feel like I've talked about it before. But I mean, there's loads of new people on this channel. So Dior Homme Sport Eau Extrême from Chanel is just revolutionary. This fragrance is to die for. So good, so sexy. It's sporty, fresh, it's creamy as well, and it's got this just diabolical combo of mint and mandarin that makes it so just sexy, fresh, but still very expensive smelling. The moment I smelled this, I was like, wow, like this is just so good. It smells amazing in the air. So if you love sporty, fresh fragrances but you want to keep it classy, this is just... Next up is another fragrance that I was just totally impressed with, and this is the first oud fragrance. It has oud in the name. There was like got me into oud, and it's not necessarily a heavy oud fragrance. Actually, it's got it in the name. It's called Oud for Greatness from Initio, but it's actually a very woody scent, and I just love how spicy, just very strong it is. It's just one of those fragrances that you smell and you're like, whoa, I'm drawn to this fragrance. It's intense, it's juicy, it's just woody, spicy, really intense, and I love this scent. I still love it, recommend it. If you want a niche fragrance that is kind of more oriental, woody, really strong, and this is just, the notes are perfectly there. They're just perfect, and performance is also there in this fragrance, and the bottle is amazing as well. But yeah, very sexy, very attractive, especially for somebody who's like outgoing. This would be the perfect fragrance. Next up is another scent that I literally was going from Dior counter to Dior counter asking for this fragrance, and it was right on the like last year that this fragrance was available, but it was nearly gone, and I literally had to hunt it down because I just love this scent. This impressed me so much, and it is the Dior Homme Parfum. It's no longer available, but the closest one to it is the Dior Homme Intense version, currently available at Dior. This is something else. The quality of the juice, it's just spectacular. When you apply it on the skin, it's just so wet with oil. There's so much fragrance oil in this. It's iris, it's syrupy, it's slightly powdery, slightly also smoky. There is just something so magical about this one. This is like this guy in a tux in a castle. This is how expensive and luxurious and just amazing this fragrance is. If you love designer fragrances with a twist that don't smell like just every designer fragrance out there, you want some, or you love niche fragrances but you want to smell amazing on a designer budget, I recommend you the Dior Homme line, especially the intense version, if you can get hold of it, this one. But yeah, it's no longer available. Another scent that I absolutely just adore, and this is super impressive, and I remember testing the whole Creed line, literally making notes on it, and I was like, why is nobody talking about this? This is like the best Creed. What is going on? And it's Royal Oud from Creed. This is just so sexy to me. It does have a bit of like a grown-up scent. It's very, this is magical. Try it if you've been stuck on Aventus and other creeds. I mean, they're all good, but this is so underrated. It's so sexy in like a grown-up way. It's so spicy. It's like this good old-fashioned cologne but made modern. It's full of like vetiver. It smells slightly nutty, but it's very spicy. And if you like Terre d'Hermès sort of fragrance vibe, but much more intense and spicy, try this out. This is like Terre d'Hermès, but like made super sexy. And yeah, Creed has smashed it with this fragrance. Check it out. Next up, we've got another designer scent that I just was so impressed with. I smelled it. I was like, I'm buying it right now. And believe it or not, although I've got loads of fragrances, I don't do that often. I do it very, very rarely because I'm a saver. I know you might laugh at this, seeing my collection, but I am actually a natural saver. It takes me ages to purchase anything, okay? And if I purchase something, it's probably something big because I've researched it for like months. And this is one of those scents that I was just so impressed with that it didn't take me months to decide to purchase it and recommend it here on this channel for you guys. It's Prada Luna Rosa Black. This is so good. It's one of those super impressive fragrances that smells just minty, a bit vanilla-y. It's powdery, it's very mysterious. It's very just like you are just whispering in this really dark cave. That's what I'm imagining. Just very mysterious, sensual, this introverted guy that you want to get to know. This is that. Very sexy though, but like in a quiet, confident way. So good, so good. I mean, you have to try it because the whole line, there's so many good fragrances, but this one is definitely a different sort of an animal. This one is sexy. The other ones are not as sexy. They're like clean or sporty fresh. This is sexy. Next up is YSL's Tuxedo from the exclusive YSL line. This fragrance, when I smelled it, I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. I love amber, patchouli, just really earthy fragrance. It does what it says on the tin. It does smell very appropriate for a tuxedo. It's grown up, but also kind of classic and just formal, but there is something just so good about it. And I do have Roja's Eau de Parfum Moustache, which is very similar, so I got that one in my collection, but this one I still am yet to get, but I love it. It's one of those fragrances, I mean, like I can't get every single fragrance that I'm like wowed with because I mean, I would be bankrupt. But, and I also have to use up what I already have and with my husband. So quick, let's use them up. But this fragrance is so good. And if you've got the money to spend on such a fragrance, then something like a winter wedding, or if somebody just lives in like a colder climate, like Scandinavia, snow, this is just such a, just to die for fragrance. Next up, we've got Enigma Parfum Cologne Roja. This fragrance, if you remember, a couple of years back, just stole my heart, and it still has my heart. This is a killer of a fragrance. Smells like Coca-Cola in the opening, and then it's very intense, leathery, masculine. It's such a fun one. Crazy projection. It smells so wonderful in the air, and to me, this is like a sexy, fun, manly cologne, but definitely something that you just know it's a niche fragrance. It's good, I guess, because when you pay for a niche fragrance, you want to know you smell unique, and you definitely will with this one. And I just love the sprayer. You guys know I love the atomizer on the Roja colognes. Let me know what is your absolute like favorite one cologne that you've discovered in the last 10 years. Let me know down below. It'll be fun to know. Next up for me, it's this one, La Nuit de l'Homme from YSL. This is just a must-have for me. Like, I will always have it in my collection. I've purchased it for my husband. Like, I die for this cologne. This is, no matter how it projects or how many times they reformulate the formula, this is so good. Perfect date fragrance. it's just unbeatable. There is something about here, the bergamot, the freshness, the lavender, the soothing quality in it. There must be something with the lavender, just makes me calm straight away. And it's one of those colognes that is incredibly sexy. It's not too strong also, which is great, because some of you guys, I bet, are just wearing too much cologne on your dates and you're just like suffocating your date. This one you can't do that with, which is great. So it's a safe one for that as well. For oversprayers, for undersprayers, whatever, but this is such a good one. Next up, we've got Chrome Azzaro Pure. I remember to this day, like with those fragrances that really impressed me, like as a woman, I just know exactly when I smelled it for the first time, and I remember everything about that moment. That's how powerful scents are, and if you want to encapsulate somebody in that moment with you, then wear a great scent. And this one is absolute killer. It's fresh, it's a bit aquatic, marine-like, it's smooth and creamy at the same time. It's in a similar vein of fragrances as Allure Homme Sport Extreme, I would say. It's just incredible. I smelt it and I was like, wow, this is great. And even better, you can get it at discounters all the time at a great price. So I would say go for it. It's another like creamy freshy that is just whoa. Next, we've got another fragrance that is super, super great and impressive and strong. And it's back. It's back. It was discontinued for a bit. So I'm happy to talk about it because it's back available on Dior's site, and it's Fève Delicieuses from Christian Dior and their exclusive line. I mean, this fragrance is full in a bottle. It's so strong. Dark chocolate, just full yellow and orange hued leaves. It's like, it's just the most cozy sweater weather sort of a fragrance, but it's sexy at the same time because it's just, it feels like a hug. It feels like you just want this person next to you. It's just a masterpiece. It's not too sweet, which is nice. It's a gourmand fragrance, but it's not too sweet, and it's perfect if you like more of this earthier sort of a full fragrance. Then this one is just a masterpiece, and it will project and last a long time as well. And another one that is sadly discontinued, and I still have a sample of it somewhere, but it's the H Men Privé. This fragrance, oh my gosh, it's on par with YSL La Nuit de l'Homme for me. If you've got it, you're lucky. If you can still get it somehow, you're lucky, because that fragrance, it's whiskey, it's boozy, it's so bad boy, it's leathery. That one really just made me think of like a motorcycle sort of a guy that was like riding a motorcycle in like New York City or something. It just had this boozy but lovely scent that it was just so good. I think it's one of the sexiest designer fragrances from CH fragrance line. So the new Bad Boy just doesn't really do it for me, because I'm comparing everything to that fragrance, and that fragrance was just the best. So yeah, I don't know if you agree with me, but let me know if the new Bad Boy, you think it's better than that fragrance. But to me, it's definitely not. It just doesn't live to the hype. It's too artificial, too in your face. But yeah, I loved the CH Men Privé fragrance. I'll link all of these, also the discontinued ones, if I can find them somewhere, down in the description for you guys. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.